In the hills of Scotland, 1790s, a man named Yoshimura is seen practicing sword techniques outside his wagon. Every swing of his blade carries sharp intent, calm but deadly. When he finishes, he walks to the carriage and gently calls for his daughter, Tornado. There are only 2 hours left before their next puppet show performance, and they need to prepare quickly. But Tornado doesn't want to get up. She complains the puppet shows are boring and no one watches them anymore. Yoshimura insists she gets up regardless. Outside, the wind cuts like a blade, and Tornado wraps herself in warm clothes. Her father makes her breakfast, fried eggs, but when she reaches for a fork, he hands her chopsticks instead. Annoyed, she gets up and walks away. Later, Yoshimura takes her out to train with a sword, but Tornado quickly becomes impatient. Her father gives up, silently. A gang of criminals is dividing up stolen gold. Their leader, Sugarman, says the gold must first be hidden safely before it can be shared. But a gang member named Little Sugar protests. He doesn't trust Little Sugar. Little Sugar doesn't respond, only tells the others to begin. An hour later, Yoshimura and Tornado begin their puppet show. The performance is charming, drawing smiles and laughter from the audience, including the gang, who happen to be passing through. Ian, one of the men carrying the heavy gold, suggests they stop to watch and rest. His partners agree. Backstage, Tornado spots the gang. She also notices a young pickpocket in the crowd. He's searching for something valuable. As the show reaches its peak, the gang's attention is fully locked in. But Little Sugar suddenly notices something. The gold Ian was carrying has vanished. The performance ends with loud applause. Ian turns and realizes the gold is gone. Panic sets in. The gang begins to search the area. Meanwhile, Tornado has already found the boy and grabbed the stolen bag from him. She hides both the boy and the gold under the stage's cargo box. But Little Sugar has seen everything. Tornado returns to the crowd to collect tips. Suddenly, Ian rushes up and demands to know if she's seen the bags. Tornado lies. She says she saw a man carrying 2 bags run into the forest. Ian quickly calls the gang and gives chase. Heavy rain begins to fall. While Yoshimura packs up the stage, Tornado helps him. She whispers, "Don't you wish our lives could be different?" But Yoshimura only tells her to focus. Then Tornado notices Little Sugar, standing at a distance, watching her closely. Alarmed, she urges her father to leave. But it's too late. Sugarman and his men arrive. They immediately notice the wagon. Tornado hides the boy and the gold in a secret compartment, but her eyes drift back to the gold. Temptation strikes. She slips 1 gold coin into the boy's hand, then throws him out of the wagon, hoping to cover her tracks. Suddenly, the wagon stops. A massive tree has fallen across the path. Tornado suggests taking a detour, but Yoshimura insists on turning back. That's when Tornado hears movement behind her. She grabs the bags of gold, drags them into the forest, and hides them in a cave. She thinks she's safe, but the boy has followed her. Back at the wagon, Tornado returns, but her father is missing. Little Sugar's men are closing in. Mike, one of the gang members, captures the boy. A gold coin falls from his hand. Little Sugar demands to know where he got it. The boy points to the wagon. Tornado grabs a knife, ready to defend herself. But Yoshimura appears and throws down his sword. He takes responsibility, trying to protect Tornado. Little Sugar pretends to greet him politely, but the gang fans out and surrounds them. 2 of the men search the wagon, but find nothing. Furious, Little Sugar grabs the boy again. The boy, terrified, accuses Tornado. Yoshimura steps in again. He says they don't have the gold. He wants no trouble. He lays his samurai sword on the ground in surrender. But Little Sugar isn't interested in peace. Yoshimura turns to Tornado and tells her, "Don't look back, no matter what." An arrow pierces his body. Tornado hears her father fall. The pain is instant, but she knows he gave his life so she could escape. She runs. The boy runs after her. The gang follows. And the rest is a storm of blood, fire, and vengeance. Tornado runs for her life. She's being hunted by Sugarman and his men. Desperate and afraid, Tornado finds a remote mansion. She slips inside and hides. But the gang isn't far behind. They storm the mansion, searching for her. The terrified family is trapped in their own home. Upstairs, Tornado hides in a room where the floorboards are rotting. Downstairs, one of the gang plays the piano while another explores above. Suddenly, the rotten floor gives way. A man crashes through it. Tornado seizes the chance. She escapes through the hills, but Little Sugar spots her, but eventually he lets her go. Alone in the wild, Tornado finds shelter in a traveling circus. She hides among the performers and reconnects with an old friend, the strongman, a man who once knew her father. Tornado recovers under the care of the strongman at the circus, but peace doesn't last. Sugarman's gang tracks her down. They destroy the circus. The strongman is shot. A young knife thrower is killed. As Tornado and the boy flee once again, were running wildly on the hillside. The archer gangster couldn't catch up with them. He had to draw his bow and shoot an arrow, hitting the boy's calf. Then, he took the boy back to the camp. Tornado took the opportunity to run far away, but she looked back and knelt down on the spot. The performance troops camp had been engulfed in a sea of fire, but she didn't have time to grieve. Little Sugar suddenly attacked Tornado from behind and threatened the girl to take him to the gold, but halfway there, they ran into Sugarman. Sugarman immediately questioned Little Sugar about where Mike was. After hearing this, Little Sugar stopped pretending, pulled out a knife directly, and was about to fight Sugarman to the death. Little Sugar died just like that, but Sugarman didn't feel the satisfaction of killing a traitor. With his own hands, he stared at Little Sugar's body, wondering what he was. Tornado went to the gold hiding place, only to find that the gold was gone. Tornado suddenly saw a figure not far away. She found it was the boy. After confirming that he was still alive, Tornado took the boy back to the carriage and treated his wounds for him. Tornado said that everything was over. The gangsters got the gold and she and the boy were still alive. The boy said that when Little Sugar brought him over, he didn't find the gold in the cave. Hearing this, Tornado immediately stood up, thinking that her father must have moved the gold to another location. Then, she went outside remembering that Yoshimura had thrown his knife high up. Tornado immediately looked up. Sure enough, she found the 2 cloth bags in the tree. After dragging the gold back to the carriage, Tornado told the boy to get up quickly. They had to move immediately. The gangsters wouldn't give up. But when she turned around, the boy had stopped breathing. Tornado buries him next to her father. In an instant, a strong sense of guilt surged over her like a tide. She mustered up her courage to bury the remains of her father and the boy, and climbed to the top of the carriage to take her own knife back. At this point, Tornado decided to avenge those who had died wrongfully. She took the threads from the puppet, wrapped them around the bow, and sharpened the arrowheads. When everything was ready, Tornado took a handful of gold coins from the cloth bag and threw them on the spot. Then, she dragged the cloth bag to the lake. Then, she took a boat to the center of the lake. She sank the gold into the water. The lake water was as black as ink, just like her current situation. At the same time, Sugarman finally found Mike's body on the hillside. After a moment of silence, Sugar immediately woke up. His men, everyone, set off again for the gold hiding place. When they arrived, they found the gold coins left by Tornado. This was a blatant provocation to Sugarman. In a fit of rage, he set the carriage on fire. The group searched for Tornado, but found no trace of her. They then decided to split up. Tornado saw the opportunity and took it. One by one, she tracks down Sugarman's men. Each death is swift and merciless. At last, she finds Sugarman, still alive, but barely. The wound from Fujin's sword has nearly killed him. He looks up at Tornado and, with his final breath, calls her a samurai. Later, Tornado finds the surviving members of the circus, led by Vienna. They offer her a place among them. But Tornado declines. She takes only her swords and a few gold coins. Her journey of revenge is over. A new path begins.